From random hustle to real growth, let's build a sales engine that actually scales. If your business feels random, this is for you. I'm David Swift, founder of Roots in Revenue. I built a profitable commercial landscape company and then I sold it to private equity. I'm a husband, a dad, and a follower of Jesus. What you'll get today: the 3 reasons your pipeline isn't predictable, a simple cadence any team can run, the pipeline flow that closes without cutting out your margin, that's a big one, and the 5 KPIs to track weekly so sales don't die in the cracks. The takeaway is you don't need more clients, you need clear targets, confident pricing, and a repeatable motion that breaks plateaus as your company grows. First, the 3 reasons growth stalls. You don't have a true pipeline. You're just living off referrals and bid lists. There's no real true positioning. You'll talk to everyone, so you land with no one. And then there's no rhythm. There's no weekly scorecards. Proposals sit quiet and then they go cold, and then your follow-ups fade. If any of those hit home, good. You just found a lever you can pull. So step 1, we want to pick a niche and plant your flag there. Stop being for everyone. We can't go to BOMA and this and that. We need to pick one real estate niche for the next 6 months. Niching down does 3 things. Okay, you're gonna have shared problems that you can solve on repeat. Okay, our clients are gonna have the same issues in those niches. Okay, that's gonna give us faster word of mouth inside like tight manager circles. These are small industries when it comes down to it, especially market to market. Everyone knows each other. We wanna be able to snowball within that network. That's gonna give us some brand compounding. Your name's gonna start to show up everywhere they are. That's gonna help you build trust. And then we need to join and show up where they gather, okay? We're not trying to get them to come to us, we're gonna go to them. So that's your market's associations for whichever niche you choose. Things we wanna do are go to the monthly meetings, we're gonna go to happy hours, we're gonna volunteer whenever they have opportunities to do that. We're gonna sponsor coffees for them, we're gonna do lunch and learns for them. The point is we wanna be in their world and we want it to be in that same real estate world so that those cross-pollinations help us as we are trying to grow. We're gonna anchor your weekly rhythms to the association's calendar, all right? So here's some things you can do before events. We need to do our homework on who you may see there. You can identify potential qualified individuals, all right? When you're at the events, you wanna make sure you meet those potentially qualified individuals. Gotta meet the managers, we gotta get to know them on a human level. Okay, business is relationships. We're not there just for a transaction. We're here to help people in the long term. So you got to find out if they love their current vendor. If they don't, great, you're in. And if they do, that's fine. Get to know them. Keep asking them questions. There's always going to be something coming down the road in the future. We want to be there for that. All right. And then after events, this is within 24 hours, we're going to send the group a thank you email. And if you can get individual thank you emails out to that group, even better. Okay. The more personalized, the better. We're trying to build relationships. We're trying to be for people in this world, right? Most importantly is you want to follow up with any potential leads that you connected with. Why it works is because we've got the same language. They're going to have the same types of pain points. An industrial warehouse is going to have a particular set of issues that we need to be able to solve that might be slightly different than multifamily or apartments. It's all landscaping, but there's going to be certain things that each type of client is going to focus on, and we can really get good at solving those problems. Step 2, there's got to be a weekly outreach rhythm. For example, on Monday, we're going to send 5 plain text emails, no graphics, just short, simple, pain-driven emails, all right? An example could be, do you love your current landscape vendor? If so, great. If not, we'd love to be an option for you. Tuesday, we can do LinkedIn touch on that day. We're reaching out to people who we've had warm leads with in the past, maybe cold reach out as well. And then maybe we call yesterday's opens, all right? Wednesday, we can stop into properties all day long. Maybe that's our stop-in day. Thursday, we're gonna offer to sponsor team meetings for anyone that you've met. We can also do cold outreach that way as well. And then Friday, we're gonna do follow-ups and then follow up on the next week's calendar and set it up. Okay, that could be an example rhythm you can follow. Here's a couple of rules I want you to keep in mind. If they open and don't reply, just stop in and say hello. Go to the property, go on site to the manager. They're on site for different types of real estate. Not all of them are, but some of them are in office, and you can go say hello. Another rule would be to never leave a site walk without the next step on the calendar. The last thing that we want to do is have a long turnaround in our sales process. Everything's got to be quick and organized on our side. And then a really important rule is that this is a long-term game. If they're not interested, we're not just going to go cold, okay? We've got to stay warm, be helpful and understanding, and it'll all come back around in time. Step 3, we got to have some type of a site walk playbook, okay? When we're going in and talking to properties, we are always curious. All right, we're always asking questions. And then just listen to what they say, and they will tell you what their problems are, right? We're asking them things like, what does your vendor do really well, right? Let's get the upside. What are they happy with? What do they want? But then we also have to ask, what are they doing that's not great? What do you not like about this? Those are going to be our pain points. That's what we're really going to lean into. What we're ultimately doing is answering those questions with how we can solve it. You don't have to rush it. But what we're asking is, what are the problems? And then we're just expressing how we solve them. We also want to capture their must-haves and their pet peeves. Is communication an issue for them? Weeds in the bed an issue? What are their high-profile areas that they really care about? Do they have ownership visits at certain times of the year that we need to make sure we interact with really well, right? Those are all questions that we need to ask. We also have to get their budget reality. All right, what numbers are we aiming for? And you can't be bashful about this. It's just casual and normal, right? We're not just going to send out a proposal and have no clue what kind of budget they have. That's not helpful for anybody, and it wastes everyone's time, right? They have a budget number that they have to stay under. So how can we meet that? All right, so what number are we aiming for? How is their contract structured? Is everything that they want in 12 even monthly payments? Or do they have a core services that are their 12 months and they're going to pull out and pay for, say, mulch and irrigation turn on and annual flower change separately? Okay, we have to know how to do that so we can structure our contract. And then we're going to change our template to fit their structure, not the other way around. All right, everything that we do is to be able to fit our clients' needs as best as they need it. That includes in how we're structuring our sales process. If they're under budget and we're going to put in our standard quantities and our standard scope, that's fine. We're not going to just lower our dollars and not make any money. We're going to try to change quantities. Okay, we have to change the scope, not our standards. How do we protect our margin? This is a huge, huge thing. A lot of people think commercial sales is a race to the bottom. It's not. It's just that people have a particular budget they have to hit. So how do we adjust without just cutting our price and losing margin on it? So we got to provide options. That could be a base scope with add-ons, but whatever we got to do, we have to make sure that we're making it fit their budget and also protecting our margin. One thing not to do is just cut our price to meet a budget. That doesn't help anybody. We don't make any money on it. We're going to be frustrated with the client because, we're not going to see them as valuable because we're not making any margin. That's a part of being in business. Not every client is for us, and that's okay. But the vast majority of clients, we can adjust our scope so we can protect our margin and then still really, really provide a nice service for them. Step 4, we got to have proposals that close. When we're sending our proposal, we're addressing everything that's discussed from those questions that we asked and how we're going to achieve the numbers in the proposal. For an example, I like to give an executive summary in their words. In the body of the email, not in the proposal, but in the body of the email, when we send the proposal, we're reconfirming their issues in their words, right? Hey, this is what we heard, this is our proposal, and this is how we fix those problems. We got to have a scope tied to pain points with the explicit frequencies in there, okay? It's not cloudy. We're going to say we're going to do this X amount of times, this X amount of times, and here's why. Okay, some of that might be budgeting related. We're going to be honest. Okay, if there's a scope that we can't meet, the pricing is just too low, then we at least know now where we sit with that, and we can make the decision, hey, do we want to cut our margin a little bit and still get this business? And maybe we can work that up over a few years. Or maybe it's they have other properties in the portfolio that have a better margin, but a better budget, but we're in with this one property. We have options and we have data that we can move on. There's different pricing and terms that we have to know, okay? Is it a base with add-ons broken out to meet their budget? Is everything in 12 months? We have to know how everything is structured for them so that we can structure it properly on our end. Otherwise, we're spinning our wheels and we're doing extra work that we don't have to do. And then ultimately, we're building proof. We're ultimately building trust all along the way. Some of the things you can do, and you can put this in the email when you send it, but it's most likely something you're going to kind of qualify yourself with early on in the bidding process, is do we have other properties nearby? Are there properties in their same management portfolio and under their management company that we maintain currently? Are there any quick references that they would know, right? Hey, they're nearby a stadium that we do, or something along those lines, right? Hey, here's some common properties to you that would show proof that we can manage this for you. Does that make sense? And then we always want next steps. All right, we're not just sending a proposal with a PDF and saying, here you go, thank you. Absolutely not. We're asking a question at the end of every sent proposal. Something that I like to end my emails with when I send a proposal are there any questions here? A lot of times is there anything in the scope or pricing that we need to revise that we can make this work? We're glad to be flexible because we want to work with you all. We're making it known that this isn't set in stone. We like this number, and we think that we can service it well at this scope. but give us some feedback. We want to work with you. We're always asking questions. That's the rule. We're always asking questions. We want to know them intimately so we can intimately solve their problems. Step 5. We got to have 5 weekly KPIs at least to keep our sales from dying. We'll have stop-in quantities is something that I like for business developers. Email outreach quantities. These are both very activity-driven. Meetings and sponsorships that are booked, that's also activity-driven. That tells us, hey, is our business developer doing the work, the groundwork of what they're supposed to be doing, all right? And then we're also going to keep up with their proposals in the pipeline for that quarter, and then dollars won for that quarter. Now, those are ultimately the numbers that we really care about. But if we're not doing the activity, we're never going to get to the dollars. So those are some of the pieces that we're going to track. And then all you have to do is we're going to meet once a week. It could be a 30-minute meeting, and we're going to score those numbers, right? Did we hit them? Did we not hit them? How many stop-ins do we have? We're going to have a certain amount they're going to have to do every week. Are we doing it or are we not? There's always going to be ups and downs, all right? You're going to have weeks where they crush it. We're going to have weeks that we're low. But if a number dips about 2 weeks straight, especially 3 weeks straight, we got to fix that problem now, not in the next quarter. Fixing those problems looks like getting legitimate answers for that, right? Hey, maybe somebody was sick and out for a few days that week. That's okay, right? That's realistic. But it just didn't happen, isn't a reasonable answer, especially 2 weeks in a row. We have to position ourselves to win and protect our margin. We have to be very clear with the expectations that we set up front with our clients. Our company was always usually a little bit higher, but we'll do 100% of what we say, and we stood by that. And then, by the way, you do have to be trustworthy and actually do what you're going to say, right? If a budget is tight, we want to adjust our quantities like we've talked about, not our standards. All right. And then we can always offer optional add-ons so they can upgrade later if they want. Our goal is not to be cheap. Our goal is to be trusted, consistent, and easy to work. The main principle here really is that when we're stopped chasing every property, and we lived inside one niche in one association in one real estate world, solved their specific problems, our close rate went up a ton and our headaches went way down. We didn't get fancy. In fact, it was the opposite. We got simple and repeatable. All right. We were specific, consistent, and we did what we said we would do. So just to recap for you, we want to pick one niche. We want to live in that world. Give it 6 months, give it a year. Focus all your sales energy in that one world. It can be anything. If you've got a leg up or you've got some leads in HOAs, amazing, run with it. If it's in the apartment world, go run with that. It doesn't matter. The point is that we need to be focused, especially early on whenever we've just started our business development team, our sales team. That's how you're going to really get snowball traction. We have to run a weekly outreach system that takes into consideration that industry's rhythms, right? Some of those lunch and learns, you might have a season where there's a ton of them in 1 month and they die off the next 2 months. And that's okay, but those are some things that we have to know going in. We have to listen diligently to our client. On the site walks, their conversations, they're gonna tell you their problems, but we just have to be listening. And then we will shape our scope and our budget with their options. We're always curious so we can understand their pain at all times. It could be informal, it could be at a happy hour, and them just venting about something. They're gonna tell you what the problems are. So we just have to build our company to solve those problems. We have to track our 5 KPIs. 5 is an easy number to keep up with. We have to track them weekly so that our sales has a schedule, all right? Just like operations does. We're very used to setting an operations schedule in this world, but one of the things we don't do great with is, okay, now sales has to have a very similar cadence. That is strategic, sustainable growth. It's not random hustle. If you're doing $20 million and up in the landscaping industry and want me to install this with you, feel free to book a 30-minute strategy call. There's a link in the description. We'll build your niche plan together, your association playbook, and your review and proposal flow. I'm David Swift with Roots and Revenue. Build something that matters on purpose.